1993 is whatever I love code. Let's try this again. New window. Or Alpine C code running as if it were in this sort of time frame. And so 60 minutes left. I died long before the 60 minutes. There we go. Anyway, so and also people are using these things to understand what these old dorky computer games were, but also some of them are still relevant, like Oregon Trail is being used in classrooms now. Still yeah, again. And but it's a beautiful space. Inside is about 5 petabytes of data of the primary copy of the Internet Archive. We've got about 25 petabytes now, I'm told. So this is about 5 petabytes of the primary copy. There's another copy in Richmond, and another partial copy in Amsterdam, and a partial copy in Alexandria, Egypt, really. The idea is to make copies and put them in other places so that they'll live for a long time. One thing I like about these is you can actually see them and be near them. You're usually not around other people's computers, especially a server cluster that's, I guess, we're the 250th most popular website of all websites. And I've been designing supercomputers my whole career, and others. And the cool thing about this one is the lights actually do mean something. Every time a light blinks is either somebody uploading something or downloading something from the Internet Archive. I think of it kind of like glowing books that actually shows you which books are being read by somebody.
Now, is it indexed so you know, oh my gosh, the
no, it's randomly scattered over the whole thing. And there are a lot of books on one, or a lot of web pages on one. So, but it's basically that disk is being accessed. So that's what that is. These guys are working on CD digitization, yay. So getting better at that. You sort of say, come on, CDs, aren't they easy? Which is what I thought. Like they're already digital, but trying to get all of the artwork right, the metadata right, trying to get the bits off of the discs accurately is actually much harder than you'd think. And it's been quite a while in development to try to get that to scale. So we replaced the number. Did anybody write number on the right hand side? Pardon? Yeah, it's the golden mean. It is. It's the golden ratio. It turns out that there isn't a second most popular number. I mean, after pi, so like, well, anyway, phi is one of, and it's spirals or Fibonacci numbers, and the like. Okay, that's a good one. Zero. No, it's how complete our collection is. So what I'd like to do, checking for bands. Wake. So Wake, W-A-K-E. Let's see. Let me put that quotes around that. Island as in.
Hey, this is Wake Island. Welcome to the show.
Let me take a photo for you.
Okay, so we got one. Are they pretty obscure? Not anymore. Okay, they're in the archive. Okay. Yeah. A4 M-A-K-I. A-S-A. All right, so we just got to go. And if you work for the archive for 3 years, we make a little statue. So that's what these are. They're all over there. I'm over there in the front next to Aaron Schwartz and Ted Nelson. And yeah, it's kind of a way of celebrating people that are working in public service in a land of get rich quick. Right? You know, the Bay Area is sort of not, you know, it's hard to stay here, it's so expensive. People come here, they work to try to sort of get rich if they possibly can. And the people that work here, there is no gold at the end of the rainbow. There's something else, there might be some other reason why you do this, but it's not to get to rich. And so you get to at least talk about what you're doing, be proud of what you're doing, hopefully, and that's what one of the reasons why we make these little guys. Okay, cool or creepy? Creepy? Is that a creepy? Mostly cool? Creepy in a cool way. I'm in the front over there. Okay, so anyway, that's Nuala Creed has been doing these. Okay, so we're going to weave down.
That's pretty interesting.
Any questions?
Right, so if you want to donate material, is this a
Physical material?
physical material?
So digital material is best for us. If you go to archive.org, there's an upload button. Hit it. Hit the upload button and then go and add
I
things.
presume that you have also information about how you'd like to have it digitized, what format you'd like to digitize in order to...
Well, we'll take anything, but yeah, there's a lot. There's the whole rest of the web that sort of helps you get there. If you donate physical things, or if you like things digitized, there are all these scanning centers around, and then or you can send them to us here. We'll digitize them as our funding allows. We only want one copy of things, so we have Da Vinci Code already. No, there's a lot of things. Got it covered. Where's the book scanning? Well, there's one up here, and there's a couple test environments here. There's Richmond, you mean in the Bay Area? Yes. I mean, there's 33 of them all over the place. They're basically in libraries. So we work with libraries. So they have us set us up, they host it. So it's all in partnership in these ways. It's interesting being a nonprofit because you live sort of this easy flowing style. We don't have non-disclosure agreements. We just don't, right? And so it's all of this stuff is just kind of given away and sort of worked on by the law.
Where does most funding come from?
Yeah, so we're about $15 million a year. About $5 million comes from libraries paying us 10 cents a page to digitize books. About $5 million comes from libraries mostly that pay us to collect web page on their behalf, and then that leaves about $5 million, which is foundation grants and end of the year campaign. So please donate for the cause, and then so that's sort of about 15 million.
Where is that page, like web pages for them? Is it for their students or?
It's for whatever their audience is. They want to make sure that something is captured well. Because we all know that the stuff is now all online, but how do you handle it? Right? In the old days, as a librarian, you just bought them and put them on a shelf and you did your job. But now it's harder than that. And so we have a service called Archive It, and we also work with National Library, Library of Congress, National Archive, plus ones around the world, to go and do countries or whatever it is. Just because it's important to make sure it's collected and kept well. When we turned 10 petabytes, we had a party. You gotta love it when somebody comes to a 10 petabyte. And I love that because it's just such a ridiculously large number. So we unrolled it, right? It's just too big to really wrap your head around. And so we should just print it out. What does 10 petabytes look like? In many ways, it's a good portion. It's a big hunk of what people have done. Right? In terms of the cultural works of humankind are represented in the ones and zeros in that 10 petabytes. Now we don't have all of it, but it's sort of, we're getting to the point where you can sort of quantify the productive, creative output of humans that is sort of made it to that. That's a bad number.
Gigabytes versus library of 100 bytes. Go. Who's got more bytes?
Oh, look, by bytes? Yeah. Well, they're the biggest library in the world by far. Right? They have 4,000 people that work there, 28 million volumes. Their collections are unbelievable. Their digital collections often are here because we made them for them. So we work closely with them. We are closely into their digital world. And so we collect all the web pages for them, or as them, if you will.
Yes, they ask you about specific sections.
Yeah, they're like yeah, they didn't do it internally, so they contracted it out. Yeah, I think we're gonna see that change. There's a new librarian coming, and she's awesome.
When you first started, you are
The web. Yeah, U.S. elections. We asked our, it was 1996, and our lawyer friend said we're going to get killed. They said that other lawyers are going to rain on us like frogs. And it was just, that if we collected everybody else's web pages, then it's going to be a trauma. So we worked with the Smithsonian because Library of Congress wasn't ready in '96, and we archived the presidential election websites from then. And then we started doing more and broad and did the Wayback Machine. And every step of the way, the lawyer said, "You're gonna die!" And I said, it's a library. We've always had copyrighted materials on the shelf. Let's just get through this. Let's get through it together. We did it as a nonprofit, which helps. There's no Teslas parked outside. I think all of that has sort of helped make it so that we're still here.
You guys are now hosting all the term.gov web archives, right?
Yes, the end of term. Yeah, so we do for the National Archives. So we're.
I'm going to go back and see what he had been in the first administration of George Bush.
Yeah, that's where it's all.
Really
Yes. Any other questions? We've been hearing all about Internet Archive for a hell of a long time, so I'm really tired of it.
Quick note, since you brought up the legal stuff, recently there's some Supreme Court decisions giving religions are our to ignore the law. And I was wondering if you had some type of religious protection,
Well, do you happen to have a religion that you could
I
lend us?
not only have that, but I have a sacred principle of historical preservation. It's been there for 15 years, and I put it in there because I was inspired by you thinking that someday you're going to
I'm going to need a religion.
So,
I've got religion.
keep Church of Reality. Reality changed my life, and changed your life too. But seriously, that might be your ultimate defense in case somebody's going after
Libraries play a very important and special role in societies, and not in some ways not unlike churches.
Right.
So there's this wonderful library in Vienna, which is kind of there, and it is a library from the Enlightenment, and it's got the whole sort of Gothic look, right? But it's all coating the walls, it's all books. And there was a shift that happened where sort of, you look to God for all the answers, to look to books. there's a shift in that sort of Enlightenment era. And so I think, why, San Francisco let us buy this building and use it, right? Which churches play a special role in neighborhoods and the like, and I think there's good of them. So I think there's an overlap.
I'm just saying is if you ever get legally desperate.
Okay. So far, so
It's
good.
there.
Okay.
And keep that in mind.
Thank you. Computer companies donate anything? A little bit, but not too much. Mostly the people that can donate things are visible connection between two things. Hello. Because that means that you can donate things, and mostly we deal with things that have very low cost. So people that build our own computers, like for instance, before the red rack, before the black rack, those are our computers, the red ones. We actually done that. There's a guy named C.R. Blakely who designed and built those, and they were designed to go inside shipping malls as a data set. And so these were really specifically designed for our clients, mostly because they're cheap. And we find that donations go on and on. So people do, the thing that people do is they spend a lot of time and effort adding things to the archive. And that's, so this place is not all done by 140 people. This place is done by hundreds of thousands of people contributing materials that they want to have together. So that's actually the value. Well, while we take a break, thank you for coming and hanging out at the Internet Archive. Feel free to wander around and meet anybody that you'd like. Please come back virtually or physically. Thank you.
But it requires being precise. It's actually not an easy job to be precise.
Jonathan.
Of engineering.
Oh.